Welcome into a brand new midweek edition of Believe in Panthers here on Believe Podcast Networks. Desmond Johnson in the house with the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. You can catch us every week, twice a week, typically during a regular week of play. Typically, we do a post-game live reaction show on Sundays, and then, of course, our midweek show getting you ready for the next upcoming game. And it's a big one based off of events that happened this past weekend. The Carolina Panthers sit atop the NFC South, tied for first, 7-6 on December the 9th, 2025. So a shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to everybody in the organization that's done what they've done. We're going to chop it up and see what they need to do to beat the Saints. All this is brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. This is a 4:26 kickoff, not the 1 p.m. kickoff. We'll be in the late window slate here. It might be shown a little bit more nationally because of it, but that game will be on Fox, if I'm not mistaken, at 4:26 is what it's saying here on the kickoff here. The line has moved. It was at 5.5 yesterday. It's moved to 2.5. Panthers are favored at home at Bank of America Stadium. Stu, we just saw the Saints a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like it's one of those games. There's really only like 2 games that we played where I felt like we weren't going to win the game, and that's Buffalo and that's the Patriots. All the other 3 kind of felt like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and that kind of led to what happened. The Saints is the last time we lost a game like that. Your thoughts on that game going into this one? Do these players take what happened in that previous game against the Saints, since it wasn't that long ago, into this game, or do you just wipe that clean and just go into this as a fresh game? Like, how do you approach this here, especially with everything on the line now?
Well, I mean, the last time we played the Saints, it was very what's the word? We didn't see the Panthers that we were intending to see. Let's just put it that way, right? Coming off of a big win, coming back home, the expectations were for us to be the better team. Because on paper, coming off of a big win, you were the better team. The record says that you're a better team. And I would say, those types of games, you go back into the office, you go back onto the practice field, the meeting rooms, and you wipe that clean, right? You forget about that game, because that was a game where, they challenged us to do what I think Bryce proved everybody wrong about, which is pass the ball. Can we pass? Can we throw the ball? They challenged us, and we didn't necessarily do that, right? So it was a uncharacteristic game, in my opinion, that you just got to get out of. You're not going back and saying, soaking in the wounds, right? Putting salt on the wounds. You're going into this with a clean slate, because it is a clean slate, and it's a fantastic opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to go in to New Orleans and get to work, right? The Saints are no, it's not an easy task by any means. I think the Saints are actually playing pretty good football. I think the rookie there, Tyler Schott, he's coming into his own. They obviously brought him in there because they saw something in him. And what we're seeing is a capable quarterback, rookie year, finding some stability within a team that is not giving up. When you have a team like the Saints that have nothing to play for besides ruining dreams, ruining aspirations, you got Cam Jordan, a guy that is going to be a future Hall of Famer. You got, Demario Davis. You have him as the rock of that defense. They're playing for things. They're playing for something. And it's called pride. And it's called, our Super Bowl is to beat the division, beat the guys that are in our division. So that way we can find our momentum going into the offseason. And I've been there. I've been on that side where we don't have anything to play for. Let's go out there and ruin people's dreams. That's the difference between the pros and college. See, pros, you're playing for your contract. You're playing for your family. You're playing to make sure you can eat next year when you are on a losing roster, right? And so you're going to get the absolute best out of the Saints in New Orleans, especially. It's the holiday season. People are trying to give their fans something to cheer for and to be remembered, right? Why not be remembered as the team that knocks off the Buccaneers? Oh, and then the Carolina Panthers come home we get to knock them off too. So if I'm a Carolina Panther, the maturity has to be at top notch. The things that we've watched, this year where it's been up and down, you come off of a good win and then you come back into the office and it's like, you're just casual about it. And it's so easy to get lulled to sleep, especially coming off a bye week. I'm anticipating that this Carolina Panthers team going on a road game is the best coming off a bye week opportunity, because you have to have a different level of focus when you have an away game. And maybe this is the moment where we start seeing the momentum carry over. Because again, like I said, the Saints is not an easy, walk-in victory. You're going to get their very best, and you have an opportunity to go in there, Desmond, beat the Saints. And if somehow the Buccaneers lose to the Falcons, that means the next following game against the Buccaneers, you get to basically lock up the division.
I saw
that's
that.
What
yeah.
That's what this is all about.
And that's where we are, folks. Like
that's where we are.
That's where we are. Like literally, we win these 2 games and the Bucs lose this upcoming week and next week to us, then we win the division. Like it's literally that simple. It's
that simple. And I'm gonna say this. We told you so. We told you so.
I will say this. I will agree with you that I do think it's a good thing that it's a road game they're coming back on off the bye week, because I guess you can't slip into a little bit of complacency being at home, all the familiarity, everything else. A road trip, especially to a rival like the Saints that just beat you, I imagine it pricks your ears up a little bit more, like you're a little bit more ready to go prove, hey, that was a fluke game. That Saints game before, was that after Green Bay? Yes. After we came back from Green Bay? So that was the first week of everybody talking about us, really. Like, oh, what are the Panthers doing? What's going on in Charlotte? And I think it kind of,
it's the first time you start smelling yourself. Basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You come back and you're like, Rico Dowdle went in there and went to work, and we came out victorious because we ran the ball. We come back to, home and we play the Saints. The Saints say, yeah, go ahead and rely on the ball. We dare you to pass it, right? And so then that happens. And then we lose a game. And then we go on the road to the Falcons, okay? And they say, hey, we're going to copy and paste what the Saints did. And we said, yeah, hold my beer, right? As we let Bryce Young throw all over y'all.
Yards later, yeah.
Okay, like, oh, Bryce Young is him, right? Oh, and then we go on a long road trip to the 49ers, and we forget to run the ball. And then we come back home to the LA Rams, and then we do what we do, right? We play complementary football. We run
Is that
the rock.
Canales? Because he's calling these plays. Is that Canales kind of learning on the fly? Because
listen,
it's like A-Day, B-Day,
I'm learning on the fly. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. I want to learn.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with it now. Now if I see how it's going to be, I'm fine with it. It's just, we've seen it the other way where they don't know what they're doing and it's affecting the team.
We've seen it the other way where we don't learn.
Right. Yeah. Same mistakes. Every
week. We've been learning because we got a coaching staff, we got a leader that has the humility and has the ability to gravitate, to learn, to rise, to elevate, to be a sponge, to not know it all. Like, I don't want a coach that knows it all. I want a coach that's forever learning, because as we're seeing the trend in the NFL right now is everybody who still thinks that passing the rock, throwing the ball is how you win games. You win games by throwing the ball sometimes.
Especially,
you got to have that balance. You can run the ball, Desmond. If you can run the ball and you can win the turnover margin, and you can play defense by stopping the run efficiencies and all those types of things, those are the consistencies of winning in the National Football League. It's not, hey, let's throw for 400 yards and that's our game plan. No, those days are way gone. Yeah, right? Those days really existed for us. Those days existed for a short stint. And we've seen that with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you have the ability to have receivers that can block, that can go dig out the safety, right? Get them in tight, right? Get those tight formations and go dig out the safety, and have tight ends being able to block right? And be a willing and able blocker in space. That's how you win in this football league. That's what springs the running backs free for those explosive plays. That's what bonds up a defense to where now all of a sudden you can hit them over the top of the head with a deep ball, right? A double crossing route, which we hit last week or 2 weeks ago, right? For the game winner, right? And so that to me speaks so much volume there to how the progression of the Carolina Panthers has been presented. Is they found their identity last year with Chuba, run the rock, and then Bryce Young, throw it to the open guy because he's wide open because we've been running the ball. And so then Rico Dowdle comes in and shakes things up. And then and we follow that. You follow that same formula, we win games. If we get away from that formula, we make it harder on ourselves.
That's the problem, though, that we've been getting away from it. And that's where I'm like, okay, this next stretch of 4 games, this needs to be where we put it together. Like, I need to know if this team, like, I don't want to go, let's say we do make the playoffs. I don't want to go to the playoffs and embarrass ourselves. Like, I want to, like, make sure.
Hold on. We going to the playoffs.
I don't want to get there and then look like we don't. We ain't supposed
to be there. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. If you look at if I watched football this past weekend and I was looking at these teams, and the only team that I was overly impressed with was the Texans.
The Texans are coming on strong here late, right when you want to. Yeah.
The Texans defense is so active, it's scary. Right, that to me is the only team that scares me. And the NFC, the only team that kind of shakes it up a little bit because we ain't played them yet, is the Seahawks, right?
We get them
because
home.
And we get them at home. We get an opportunity to play them. But technically, if we handle business, we don't have to play them. I mean, we don't play them.
Yeah, it won't
really matter. And so, but we don't want to embarrass ourselves at any point in the season. Regular season, playoffs, we've been embarrassed already, right? The Patriots game, the Buffalo game, the Saints game, the game that we were supposed to win, and then we just kind of, let it slide. And so we've been in that vibe already. And I just feel like this is a perfect. We're starting to peak. And I hope we can actually say we're starting to peak once we play the Saints and we handle business. Then we can actually say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in this formation of elevating to peak. And that's where you want to be in playoffs.
And I was going to say, it's all the same in terms of what we said, 3 weeks ago in terms of how to beat the Saints. A lot of it's stuff that we need to do, not necessarily stuff we need to stop from the Saints. Yeah. The Saints took away our run game, like you mentioned, and we never really adjusted out of it. I think we've learned from there to not be solely dependent on Rico Dowdle. And I think we were still in that kind of phase where we were kind of there. Sometimes I think Canales, he gets to a point where he sees Bryce Young as like this toy that he doesn't really know exactly what to do with. Some weeks he knows it works, and some weeks he tries to do the same thing and it doesn't work. So it's like, I think he needs to kind of not worry about getting Bryce off or getting Rico going or anything like that. It needs to be more along the lines of, what is the game plan? What are we trying to do all week? And being on the road, I think, will help. The Saints, bottom 5 in scoring, turnovers, and passing TDs. Tyler Shuff, the rookie, he still needs some experience. We can still rattle him. Their defense is a little bit better than it has been, but they don't have no way to really get pressure. They're old. This is one of the oldest teams, one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. The Panthers, again, are favored in this game. I think it's going to come down to, can the Saints not stop Rico Dowdle, but can the Saints stop the running game, Dowdle and Chuba, now that Chuba's healthy? That's a different animal than when they were dealing with us a couple of weeks ago. Can Carolina's defense keep generating turnovers? Because we've been doing that the past couple of weeks, and that's made it a lot easier on offense. And can we avoid turnovers? Because that's been the thing really has written the script for us in wins and losses the past 2 years with Canales and Young here together. Win the turnover battle, like you said, run the ball, stop the run. This should go in Carolina's favor in paper, on theory and paper. So we'll kind of see again that they're favored by 2.5. That's come down from 5.5 from earlier this week. As we'll shift over to around the league here for just a bit. Before we do that, though, of course, FanDuel is your spot to go to play some money, play some bets on some of this stuff. The Panthers and the Saints.
Win that money.
Is 40.5. They got it sitting at right now. I think they're going to score more. I think I'd go over on that between these two teams. I know the Saints are struggling to score, but in a divisional rival game like this, where the Saints are trying to show they're building something and Carolina's trying to show that they are something, I think there's going to be more points scored than 40. This is more of a 27-24 kind of game, I think. So
yeah,
that might be something to look at there in terms of the over. But you can go over to sportsbook.fanduel.com, click the NFL tab, go through, and you can pick all kinds of different parlays, quick bets, popular prop bets, things of that sort. So go over there and check them out. You were mentioning the league, as we'll flip over to around the league here, and how you were watching games this week and nobody really stood out to you. I'm sitting there looking around and like there's not really a dominant team. Like even the ones that we're supposed to look at and go, oh, they're pretty dominant. I don't trust them. Like Detroit or Denver is 11-2, right? I don't trust Detroit for some reason. I just don't trust. They've won 10 straight games, but I feel like it's like they're one of those teams that are going to get in the playoffs and they're going to lose in the first round. And we're going to go,
I feel like it's going to be the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship.
Really? Wow. Okay. I didn't know you was coming out
coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming hot today. Okay.
And I say it, and I say it that way because when the Rams came to Carolina, they went away from what was actually working in that game. They were hitting explosives in the run game, and they were, but like that's what their yards per carry average, kind of shot up because they were hitting explosives because they dialed the runs. They stopped dialing the run game, and then this past week, what'd they do? They dialed the run game, and so my thing is, teams that go away from what works are going to be the teams that fall short. If we are learning from our mistakes and we can go out there and execute and we get healthier, we're getting healthier. We're going to have only person that's going to be really missing maybe is Caden Mays and Robert Hunt. Right.
And we still haven't heard. So, I think they did rule not to put Hunt back on the 21-day.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him back into the playoffs anyway. Right.
Yeah. So hold on to him.
And unless we need him for the last game of the season against the Bucs. But my take is we are set up for success. We are set up with a tight end unit that is healthy now, that will be able to execute in the form of blocking and also presenting themselves as a threat in the passing game if we put them in position to be accessible. You know what I'm saying? Like if we allow for this offense to run like it's built, we win games. And there's not a team in the NFC that I'm afraid of besides, like I said, the Seahawks. We haven't played them yet.
The Eagles have fallen off a cliff.
The Eagles right now, like it's toxic over there. They have the talent. They have the players, but for whatever reason, Jalen Hurts throwing 4 interceptions, that ain't gonna cut it. Okay.
Yeah, you can't do that. You
can't do that. You cannot do that.
Now because of what they've done, because they've lost 3 straight, now Dallas is right behind them. They're half the game out of first. They're 6-6-1. And you mentioned Detroit.
Are we afraid of Dallas?
No, we beat Dallas.
Dallas can't stop the run if they can't shut the water. They can't shut the water off with a handle. Okay.
Now we'll say when we saw the Cowboys, they did not have Quinnen Williams, and that trade had not happened yet. And they've been top 5 in rushing defense since that trade happened. So I do need to put that out there. That's how they've kind of built that in the Eagles' descent. But you mentioned Detroit. Detroit's 8-5. They're the leading wild card right now. We're kind of in a wild card race too. Like in terms of where we are record wise, we need to we're a game behind Detroit for the one of the wild card spots. So you need to keep an eye on that. And there's really 2 divisions: the NFC North and the NFC West. The North with the Packers at 9-3, the Bears are at 9-4, the Lions are 8-5. Minnesota technically is still in it at 5-8, and then the West, The Rams are 10-3. The Seahawks are 10-3. The 49ers are 9-4. And I rattle those names off because we've beaten some of those teams. We've beaten Green Bay. We've beaten the Rams. We're going to see Seattle. It's to your point. This is probably the widest open the NFC has looked in a long time. And then when I go to AFC, it's a lot of young teams at the top that I don't trust the Patriots. I don't trust the Broncos. I don't trust these teams. I do trust Buffalo. Like I do trust that they will get in the playoffs and handle business. I would say Buffalo is going to probably still get. I think
Buffalo will beat the Patriots this weekend, and it's because this is that time of year where they're built to beat people. They have 3 tight ends.
Yeah,
they have 3 tight ends that they can throw to, but they get in those formations, those tight, heavy sets. They're going to run the ball too. So you look at this past game in the snow. They won the game because they ran the ball, and they have a Josh Allen that's going to run the ball. Oh, you're not open? Oh, I'm gonna run the ball.
And
I don't have a number 1 receiver. I'm gonna run the ball.
And when it gets cold like this, you don't want to have to tackle Josh Allen in the open field.
I don't want to tackle. I don't want. Listen, that's a business decision. I'm trying to see. I got kids.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring down this pine tree in the middle of
Daddy, why you let that man run over you like that? Hey, you be talking about to your daddy.
Supposed to be weak. Oh man. And then the Steelers, the Ravens, and the AFC North, they played each other this past Sunday. I don't know why people doubt Mike Tomlin. Like to this day, I have Steeler friends that are like, we're so tired of Mike Tomlin, we need to change, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why don't you change your roster? Like, why don't you change some other stuff instead of Mike Tomlin? Like, and he'll always like, well, he'll always be like, you're a Panther fan, so you don't know what it's like to. We expect a certain level. When I'm like, no, I am a Panther fan, and I'm like, you don't seem to understand what you have in your building. Mike Tomlins don't come around every day. As soon as y'all mutually part ways, because they're not gonna fire him. If whatever happens, they'll mutually decide to go separate directions. Mike Tomlin will have a job before he leaves the parking lot. That should tell you how good of a coach he is and how respected he is across the league. Pittsburgh would be stupid to let go of Mike Tomlin. Now, Mike Tomlin might be like, I've had enough of this. I want to leave. Like, that's a different thing altogether. But if it's Pittsburgh saying you're the problem, we need to get rid of you. The problem is he never loses. So they're never in a position where they can get a quarterback or somebody.
You can't justify firing Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it's like we're letting you go because we haven't sucked enough for us to get a good quarterback to get us out of this problem because you keep winning games, Mike. Stop winning games so we can actually.
Are the Baltimore Ravens broken?
I think Lamar Jackson is physically broken. Like, I think they put it kind of reminds me of Cam with us at a certain stretch, like, or especially early in his career before 2015. It felt like there'd be games or parts of seasons where they were just like, you know what, let's just see what Cam can do. Let's just see if he can just drag us there or whatnot, because we've got injuries and all kinds of things where people are out. And it's kind of like that in Baltimore right now where the defense isn't really holding up their end of the bargain. But now Lamar looks hurt. He doesn't look healthy. And he might have came back earlier than he needed to just to try to get them back in the playoff hunt. But again, that division's so wide open, they lose that game and they're still only, a game out of first place with 4 to play. So it's like we talk about the Ravens being, maybe on the way out or their demise, but they're still in the thick of things in this division. I don't know well, Cleveland's not making the playoffs. They've already been eliminated. But did you see that in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders like going off on Sunday and then they yanked him for the 2-point conversion? It's like, what are you doing? Like, do you not like him?
Yeah.
Like, personally?
Listen, shout out to that young man.
Shedeur Sanders?
Because, to weather the storm like that ain't weathering a storm, man. That is a weathering people trying to, like, put you to death. You know what I'm saying?
People your career before it starts. They
didn't want him
like him.
But like the head coach, I don't understand. I don't really know him like that, so I ain't gonna shade him.
Stefanski.
I'm not gonna shade him too much. But it's not. Common sense ain't common, Desmond. Common sense. If it was common, it would make sense.
Put that on
right for him. It would make sense for the Browns to just make him the starter out the gate. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to protect him from something, from himself, from the media. I don't know, from their pockets. But Shedeur Sanders is a playmaker.
They're 3-9. They're playing for nothing. Why are you saving him? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just a bad look.
All I know is you can tell going to like seeing that Titans game and seeing how all the Titans players came up to Shador after the game and dapping him up. And you can kind of hear a little chatter of like, hey man, keep doing it, man. You keep selling them tickets. You keep balling out. Like people are rooting for him. They've been rooting for him. But the only people that have not been rooting for him is the upper management at the Cleveland Browns facility, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I don't.
It's like you don't want to be wrong, then just be right.
Why did you pick him? Like, if you were going to do this, why did you even put him in the building? Like, I don't understand it. You know, somebody
showing out.
You know, somebody I bet has not buyer's remorse, but they wish they probably had drafted Shador at this point. Mike Tomlin. I bet at this point, Mike Tomlin's sitting here looking at it, and it's like, we probably should have grabbed him in the fourth and just let him sit behind Aaron and just kind of try to figure this out.
Yeah, that would have made way more sense for him to just, if you're gonna sit behind somebody, as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and guess like you're going to learn from him, but you get to watch him like with a clipboard for a year.
You'll be able to learn way more from just watching. Because again, teach nothing.
Because again, with the Steelers, their main problem is they're never under 500, so they never get a high draft pick. So Ben Roethlisberger was picked in like the 20s or whatever. Like when he got drafted, like they got lucky when they found him and rode him for a decade. That's
a great point, Desmond. That is a good point. The
always
only way they're gonna get a good quarterback is getting somebody like Shador. Where the league tried to make an example of him, and he dropped.
Who better to have him than Mike Tomlin? Like, in that situation, to have a strong black voice coaching you, where everyone is pointing at you and thinking you're gonna be like your dad and all that stuff. And Shador does say some things sometimes where I'm like, okay, it's a little Dion. Like, you need to turn down.
Yeah, but listen, he's Dion's son. Who you expect him to be?
I mean, that's true. The swagger comes with it. And that's something that Cleveland actually needed, to be honest. But Cleveland don't seem to want it. So it's like, if you don't want it, do this man a solid and trade him. Man. Trade him somewhere and let him start fresh someplace else that'll actually respect his talents, because he is a good player.
I want him to bring Cleveland out of the ashes. I want him to be the one that does the impossible.
I don't know if they deserve it. And I've got in-laws in Cleveland. I don't know if that city deserves him to do that. The way they're treating him right now, I'm like, I don't know.
Desmond over here saying they don't deserve it.
I mean, he was the fourth string quarterback. So looking around everything else here in the league, I think the Rams are still probably the best team in the league right now. Going into this, I think they're the one seed if we started the playoffs today in the NFC. Again, over in the AFC, it's the Patriots. I think it's Denver, actually. Denver would be the one seed. Patriots would be the 2 seed. Both of them are 11-2. Again, I don't trust either one of those teams. Honestly, I'm looking at the AFC South. Jacksonville has kind of popped up now at 9-4. We lost to opening week. It's crazy that some of the teams we've lost to, New England, Buffalo, Jacksonville, they're all at the top or near the top of their standings in their division, which makes me feel better about those losses. They weren't losses where it was like, that's a team we should have beat. No, those teams were kind of a year or so ahead of us, so that it kind of helps you with the gauge of where we're at. You mentioned Houston earlier. They're coming on. The Colts are falling back. I think Daniel Jones, I don't know if I ever heard exact. I know it was a non-contact injury. I think they were fearing it might be his ACL, but I hadn't heard anything about that. Oh, I did see that the Colts are going to work out retired quarterback Phillip Rivers, which was interesting. I'm trying to see. He last played in 2020 with the Colts.
And Rivers going to go. He said, look, I like that squad with Rivers.
Let me slide right there.
I'm handing the ball off. I'm going to hit that check down. And y'all come up close if you want to.
He's 44.
Shoulder out.
He just turned 44 yesterday. He just turned 44 yesterday.
Man, look, if Brady can do it, he's saying I can do it too.
I think he was coaching high school football, like here. I think in North Carolina somewhere. So we'll keep an eye on that.
God bless him. I hope he get a chance. That would make football so fun. Listen, sign him. Just do it. You need it.
And it is confirmed. Daniel Jones out for the season, torn right Achilles. Back up Riley Leonard.
Man, he was about to get paid. He was about to get paid again.
He really was. Okay? Yeah, he was about to get paid again. Maybe come back player of the year.
There's been a lot of injuries, man. Like I'm just like, wow.
I don't know if it's. I was mentioning to a friend when I was down in. I was actually down towards your neck of the woods doing a high school football playoff game 2 weeks ago. We were at Huff, and we were doing Huff West Forsyth.
You was at Huff, and you ain't even holler at your boy.
I know you was like close, and man, Huff is like.
I wasn't even in town 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. He was on the West Coast, I think, back then.
Mhm.
But Huff is like in like they like built a school in the middle of $1 million neighborhood. Like it's not even Charlotte. It's like Union
Yeah.
County, I think. Like it's up in the
Mhm.
suburbs, kind of. And they have a turf field. And I've seen a couple of turf fields on high school fields the past couple of weeks, and I don't like it. I don't like turf field, especially in high school. Like it needs to be natural grass,
Yeah.
natural bounce. Like I don't know. There's something about it that rubs me the wrong way. Seeing turf in high school, I don't like that we have turf at Bank of America Stadium. Like, the thing that I really hate, they pull it up and put down grass for the soccer games, for MLS, and then they pull it back up, put down the turf for the Panthers. I'm like, why? Like,
you guys will be all right. Just be an athlete. Be an athlete. Pick your feet up. Pick your feet
carpet
up
out there. They'll be good to go. So you got that going on. So you have the around the league. And again,
the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, man. That is the team. That's the best team in the NFC.
You think
right
so?
now?
They can score. I mean that.
They can score, but they are consistent, and they've been consistent in this running game. Right, the last 3 games they've been very consistent, and they also been consistent in stopping the run. Okay, and I like to look at the efficiencies of all this. Right, I'm over here on TeamRankings.com, and I'm looking at this stat. Right, yards per rush attempt, opponents. Right, so every time they face an opponent, they giving up 3.6 yards per carry. Okay. Just to put this, into perspective, right? We've been pretty good at stopping the run for the most part, except for, a couple games. Carolina gives up 4.9, okay? 3.6, 4.9. The Giants give up 6.7 yards per carry the last 3 games. Okay?
Yes.
So, but the efficiencies here for Seattle and that department, and how they run the ball, but more importantly, the turnover ratio, right? The margin per game for the Seattle Seahawks is 1.7. Guess who's above them? Carolina Panthers, 1.7.
Wow.
All right. So like when and then also too, like the rushing yards per game, the efficiencies were right there on offense at the in the top 10. So we continue to just do what we do best and just execute and be and master that. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right, like Kendrick Lamar, man.
Yeah, I feel good about our chances, and especially in the NFC, the way it's kind of opening up kind of wide. It makes me really curious about January. If we can get to January and get a shot, everything's 0-0 at that point, and you get in here and you see some of these teams, you're like, hey, we beat y'all. Oh, we beat y'all too. Oh, we beat y'all at your house. We beat y'all. That kind of thing where it's like, okay, we're not just backing into the playoffs. We're one of those teams nobody wants to play, like when we get to the playoffs, because they don't know what Panther team's going to show up. They might get embarrassed. They might win by 20. They don't know. And that's to me, it's scary to plan. So I'm kind of this is the first December I've been doing Believe in Panthers as a host, where I'm going into the month we've got meaningful football for the rest of this month. Something's going to happen here, and we determine our own fate, which I really, really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that. But before we get out of here, Stu's take of the week. I'm not Stu, but I had a take. Did you watch that? Did you watch that Diddy documentary on Netflix yet? The 50 Cent producer.
I ain't watched it yet, but I heard it's very diabolical.
It is very diabolical. I don't know how. Well, I do know now. When I was watching it, the first thing you're going to say in your head is, "How did 50 get this footage? Where did he get this? It's like Diddy's camera team. It's following him around." And now
Diddy didn't pay his
videographers, right?
So since you didn't pay for the footage, it ain't your footage.
It ain't your footage. And now, it's kind of confirming stuff we've known for really years now. But I was telling a friend, I'm like, sometimes I feel like my childhood is being erased. Childhood heroes that Puff, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. You know what I mean? Now it's like, you kind of have a different memory of it all now. And I think back on it, in the 90s, some of the stuff we were living in and kind of knew what was going on and just didn't register. And now you go back and hear lyrics and stuff, and you're just like, Oh man,
You was doing what?
oh no, oh no. So,
Oh
so all
no.
that's been the main thing I've been seeing going on around here. Anything you want to hit off of before we get out of here for us? Stu's take of the week.
Man, I just want to get back to this football thing, man. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this weekend. The Saints, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you got your ticket, you've been enjoying your ride. If you just trying now to get on the wagon, on the train, you better run fast. Okay. We still got a couple tickets left. Do we still got a couple tickets left? Yeah, we got a couple tickets.
Yeah, a couple.
But when the stakes are high, NFC South, the rivalry, the division pride, you going into New Orleans and you have to come out with a dub. Carolina, you know what works, you know what doesn't work. You're starting to figure out who you are as a Canellas-led team. You're starting to get healthy. You're getting guys back on defense. You got Chuba, you got Rico, you run the ball. You got a guy on the other side of the ball on defense and Chase Young, right? Let's not ignore the fact that this man can be a problem, okay? He can be a heat-seeking missile if you allow it. And so the mismatches, they're going to look for that in that offensive line. Offensive line has been proven to be, true, that's the unsung hero, the offensive line coach. Having them boys ready every single week, right?
They have like 10 or 11 different combinations that's starting this year. Just every week. It's just a round table of who's here.
Yeah.
Like who's available.
But coming off of that last Green Bay win, going in, coming home, playing the Saints, you lose. It's embarrassing. You have now a refocused group of guys in that locker room. You don't get redemption. You don't just get it. You earn it. Like the Panthers lost the last one. You got to come out here and execute. And you got to execute. This is not a game about emotions. This is a game about execution. Okay? And when you execute, you find redemption. And so this is, you got to lock in. And I feel like we're starting to see this team mature. That's what's happening with the Carolina Panthers.
Right in front of us. Yeah.
Right in front of us. You're seeing Derek Brown. You're seeing J.C. Horn. And you're seeing these veterans on this team. And you're starting to see the younger guys take form. Right? You're starting to see the younger guys believe. You're starting to see coaching staffs trusting, putting guys in position to be successful. Prove me right. Right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for this week because we're now in a situation where we control our own destiny. And bro, if we do everything the right way, the Carolina Panthers will be hosting a playoff game at Bank of America Stadium for the first time since 2015.
10 years. 10 years since the last time we've had a home playoff game at Bank of America Stadium. And B of A would be, Charlotte's going to be crazy. That's the one thing I know and love about the city of Charlotte. When they have a winner to get behind, ain't no better place to be than uptown Charlotte. Like the state, like everyone just kind of gravitates towards it. And I'm starting to feel Panther fans that were kind of hiding for the longest kind of coming back out the wood like, hey, what's going on? We finally figured this out. What's happening? So come on aboard. Panthers Saints 4:25 kickoff on Fox this Sunday. I believe we'll be on afterwards with a post-game reaction show. It would at that point be like 7.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be on. We're gonna be on for sure.
So it'll be like right before Sunday Night Football, so you can kind of watch that, come over, see us, and then go into your Sunday Night Football and everything. So that should end up nicely with a bow for you on your Sunday. So we'll see you then. Again, make sure you rate and subscribe to Believe in Panthers. If you go to youtube.com/@Believe, if you look up the Believe in Panthers playlist, you can actually hit the little bell thing so it will notify you whenever a new episode gets posted there. And they get posted on the Believe Podcast Network audio-wise each week, so you can follow us there. And finally, make sure you go over to shop.believe.com. There's new items in the Believe shop, including apparently a Run the Ball mug from Jay Stu. Some stuff's over there for you to find as well.
If you like coffee, you like juice, you like water, you like bourbon, you like whatever you like to drink,
bourbon.
Put it in that cup and run the ball.
So there you go. And that's where we're going to end it for the day. So We will see you guys Sunday evening, probably around about 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish, somewhere in there live. Participate in the post-game show for Jonathan Stewart. This is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to Believe in Panthers podcast on Believe Podcast Networks, brought to you by FanDuel. Keep pounding.